Welcome to another episode of Brothers Arguing Sports. I'm Zav. Across the Zoom is TD. We've also got Niles there. So last night, Victor Wembanyama, his second game in the Summer League. So the question is very simple. We're going to spend about 5 minutes discussing, has your opinion changed about Wembanyama after his second Summer League game? Niles, why don't you go first?
My opinion's not changed. I'm still very high on him, his playmaking abilities, and I think the shot making ability is there. I think it just needs reps. The shooting ability, I think, got a little bit more consistent in this second game around. I still think there's things that he can work on with his shot. But the reality of the fact is the floor is more spaced, and he's going to take time to shoot from longer distances and get his shot over tougher defenses. And so we'll see. Defensively, I'm not worried about him at all. He's already going to be elite. I can see those tools developing already so quickly.
Did your opinion change at all, TD?
Yeah, believe it or not, it actually went down. And I know that's crazy considering he had a great game. But, it's not all about numbers. You look at Julius Randle in the regular seasons putting up 25-10. You just look at the stat line. You think he's this great player. But then you watch him in the playoffs and he just couldn't get it done. I know the numbers look good yesterday, but I was really let down by Wembanyama yesterday. And I'll tell you the main reason. He cannot be run through the post by because he has no strength to get position. And I noticed right as the game started, just like the Spurs used to do with Duncan, they get the ball in the perimeter and they're just waiting for him to establish position in the post, get him the ball, and they revolve the offense around him. And he has no strength. And he just got moved off the block. They tried again. When he finally got position, there was like 3 seconds on the shot clock. And listen, all the things Niall said, I agree. He's going to be a shooter, but I think his ceiling is kind of Kevin Durant.
Yeah, but see, that's a huge ceiling. That's a huge ceiling if it's Kevin Durant.
Well, Zav, let me tell you this. Kevin Durant never won, Zav. That's the problem.
Either way, Durant's an all-time great.
I know.
Kevin Durant
He's
won
not a top
twice.
10. Yeah, but listen, how many
Kevin
years did he
Durant's
spend
been
on the
three
how many
NBA
years did he
finals.
spend on the Thunder? How many years did he spend on the Thunder? With Adams, a prime Russell Westbrook, James Harden, he had a big, there's no excuse for him not winning there.
Guess who the teams that he lost to every year?
The
San
teams he
Antonio
joined to
Spurs.
win, which is why I don't
San
count.
Antonio Spurs.
Well,
The San
there you
Antonio
go.
Spurs.
Well, all the more reason. And they were running the
And
post
their system
through
works.
Duncan.
Their system works. And having him and Victor Wembanyama developing that system, I'm talking Greg Popovich, and having him developing Wembanyama, we know he's not going to play like what we just saw in the Summer League in the NBA season because that's not how they run their offense. So when we see that,
let me tell you this,
we're
though.
going to see what Wembanyama can do. And he
Historically-
feels already fit into that style of play already.
Listen, I've watched a lot of Tim Duncan era Spurs, and he did one thing and one thing only, Greg Popovich, with the Admiral and with Tim Duncan. He fed the post. But I don't think the Spurs are going to win rings with Victor Wembanyama, simply because I've watched bigs win rings and they need a post present. That's where they get their damage done. And I'm expecting him to be like Tim Duncan. And I saw him try to get posts. I watched the finals, Heat Spurs. I'll be brief. And there was a point where the Heat were running away with the game. They got a 12, 13-point lead. Popovich called a timeout. And then for the next 8 straight plays, they just established Duncan on the post. He got his position. They fed him in. And it got the game under control. And then by the time they moved to another plan, it was a tie game. And then Ginobili got involved. And then Parker did his thing. In these postseason games, when the tide is going against you, you need a post and a big man to reestablish control of the game. And I don't think, Zav, when the tide is going against the Spurs, I don't want to see Wembanyama jacking up fadeaway mid-ranges.
But TD, what I took away and why I'm saying my opinions change is I don't think we should be making these bold predictions after these little summer league games. The guy's 19. He had a couple post moves. He scored a couple buckets in the paint with a few moves.
So
5 years.
They were wobbly. They were wobbly.
He's still, but he's 19. He's first time here. My point is he's athletic. He's agile. He's got a good head on his shoulders. He's clearly got vision. there's no need to try and pigeon him into a certain, oh, he's never going to do this, he's never going to do that. Just let him play and evaluate what you see. What you saw yesterday was, wow, the first game, he was very nervous and a little bit lost. Yesterday, you saw more confidence. That's the biggest thing I took is, even at the end of the game, he was the best player on the court. You know, yes, I prefer him in the paint, but you can't deny he had a couple mid-range shots. He got some offensive rebound dunks, hit a couple threes.
Smooth mid-range shots.
Yeah, my point is, let him just breathe a little bit. We don't need to me, you're being a rabid fan, TD. Oh, he's never going to do this. He's going to do this. Just let him breathe, and evaluate what we see as we go.
Well,
He's going to play on an NBA roster as well. He's going to be playing on an NBA roster soon. He's not playing with NBA talent entirely just right now. He's not going to be playing with Keldon Johnson till the fall.
And TD, this is where,
we'll
unfortunately,
judge that.
And TD, what you said is ridiculous. This is where the expectations are so absurd. If he turns out like Kevin Durant, that's one of the greatest players in the history of the game. That's still, you can't expect everyone to be the greatest. So if he's in that second tier, not quite Michael Jordan, that's still an incredible success, TD. I think you're being ridiculous.
No, what I meant by his ceiling is Kevin Durant is that when you're a number one pick, you're expected, and like him with the added hype, you're supposed to be a finals MVP.
No, you're not.
On a team you built.
No,
yes,
you're not.
TD, he's already being compared to these people.
You're such a rabid, dumb fan. Look at number one picks. You could have Michael Olajuwon. All right. Look at Kwame.
Everyone knew they'd be busts.
No, no one. TD, you don't. The guys you're mentioning are 1 in a billion. Like,
and Zoff, he is being projected to be better than them.
It's just by TD. Just got to let him play. Let him play. And if he's a defensive stud and he scores in the offensive end, that's a huge success. I mean, it's stupid to say, well, he's gonna be Durant and not win a title, so he's a failure. It's just dumb.
I don't even think he's going to be as good as Durant. I said his ceiling is Durant.
Yeah,
and by that I meant, well, Zav, okay. So let me ask you this. I am confident.
I thought you said he couldn't score.
Who, Wemby?
Yeah, you're comparing him to Kevin Durant?
No, what I meant, I'm sorry, I got to clarify that. What I meant was, by the way, his idol is Kevin Durant, and he clearly tries to mold his game over him. He tries to be this mid-range shooter. And going down this road, I do not think he is going to reach the level of a Jokic, a Duncan, basically a big, a Giannis who can't shoot but managed to win a ring. Basically a big that leads his own team to a ring and wins finals MVP. I don't think going down this road, he can be that person based on the 15 years of NBA finals I've watched and what bigs do in finals to get over that final hump. Listen, I'm making a bold statement.
Yeah, but I think it's stupid in my opinion to even talk Giannis or Jokic I mean, if you want to say he's not going to be those, but he still has room to be an amazing player then, TD. I mean, if you're a defensive player of the year and you're good on offense, that's a huge success. I mean,
I agree, but look at his lineage. You have to admit he's different. You have
I agree with that.
You had the Admiral, you had Duncan. Now he's like the third calling. He has to win a ring and a finals MVP. He has to. I'm sorry. Or it doesn't work. I'm sorry, Doc.
TD,
following this lineage, he has to win.
TD, David Robinson never won a ring until Tim Duncan got there. So would David Robinson been a failure? Was David Robinson a failure?
I was too young.
No.
I don't know.
No, exactly. He never won until Tim Duncan got there. All right.
I don't know if his expectation was that high, and he wasn't joining the lineage.
But he's still a great player. He's still a top. Was Patrick Ewing a failure with the Knicks? No, that's my point. You could be a great player. Stockton and Malone, are they failures? They never won finals MVP.
What do you think Wemby's ceiling is? And what do you think? What do you think?
I'm letting him breathe. What I see is a guy who's got tremendous defensive talent. Like 100% he could be a defensive stud. And last night it really opened my eyes to, wow, I like what I saw on offense. Like you said, he's got vision, he could pass. I saw a couple moves, I saw some mid-range shot. I'm open to see what he could become offensively.
No, he's definitely a project, but
He's also a prodigy.
Niles, do you think he's more
He
project
is.
or prodigy?
I think he's more of a prodigy. I just need to see how he's going to be used in the offense first. I see development in a lot of areas, but I see a lot of potential, a lot of skill in a lot of areas. He's a very well-rounded big man. I just think there's consistency that rookies struggle with early on. You don't see a lot of rookies shoot super efficiently from 3-point range. They kind of figure it out. He's going to be grinded in the Spurs organization on how he's going to gel with the other players. He's going to have to play a role until he proves that he can do this consistently enough to earn that type of role. Nothing's going to be not everything is earned in San Antonio.
I agree with that. Just what I didn't see yesterday was just the game revolving around him. And I think
that's a positive, TD.
I didn't see the game revolve around him.
That's a positive.
And I think that's a result of his lack of strength. And that worried me.
I think but I saw, see, TD, what I saw, and I watched closely, he's an unselfish player. He makes a lot of passes, but at the end of the game, he got some confidence, and that's where he started scoring some points. So I love the balance of he was unselfish, he's giving high fives to his teammates, he's in the game, but he could score, and he took over. I like the way he plays himself within the Spurs system.
Well, yeah, I mean,
TD, you can't criticize yesterday's game. That's a stud performance. 27 points. He was the highest scorer on the Spurs. Second game.
I know.
He's 19 years old. He's 19.
I saw him get an offensive rebound in the first minute, and the guy ripped it right out of his hands.
But TD, you also saw him get an offensive rebound and put it right back up for a dunk. I remember that twice off the top of my head.
No, that's true. But no, I know. But Zob, how many times?
What do you expect him to do, TD? Did he have to score 40 points in his second summer league game?
No, like I said, I'm not basing it on points. I'm saying the numbers is not what my judgment. My judgment was on when they clearly wanted to establish him in the post. They just couldn't do it. And I saw him get a rebound, and I saw it get stripped out of his hand. And I watched just the general flow of the game. He kind of disappears on the court.
No, I disagree. What do you think, Niles?
They're managing his workload. He's not going to go all out high usage in the summer league. So that's what I'm saying. We need to wait and see what he's going to be working on. Like he said, he hasn't even sat down and talked with the Spurs yet about what his role is going to be. He's kind of getting touches just to get his rhythm out there right now. As of right now, he has no clue exactly how he's going to be utilized with the Spurs. They already have star guys that they're developing around in young guys like Keldon Johnson and Devin Vassell. Like he's not just going to come in and just dominate the ball. He needs to figure out how this guy is going to be effective.
And see, I like that he doesn't just come in and jack up shots and try and he looks for other teammates. He's a real team player. You could see that in these games. So
it's going to be fascinating to see how Popovich builds around him.
But TD, what I think you're missing, if he comes in and is a stud defensively next year and finds his way offensively, that's a huge successful rookie season.
Oh, I agree. I agree. I'm thinking big picture.
Yeah, but it's silly to try and pin already saying he won't win a ring and all this stupid stuff. It's just, I think you're just being dumb. I think it's too early. Let the kid have a summer league, and then the season starts. You see him against NBA players, then you got to let him develop.
Hey, I'm just getting my initial impressions and fears out there, and let's see if they develop, and maybe they do, maybe they don't.
All right, now his last word.
I just hope for the best for this man. He looks like he's a really talented big, and I just hope he figures it out with San Antonio. They have a really young core there, and I think their high IQ system really develops high IQ players, and they just they have such a good track record with developing players. So I just hope for the best with them.
Yeah. And,
I would
and
love to see him. I would love to see. And he's a great top of the line kid.
Yep.
You cannot say one bad thing about his personality.
And CTD, that's where I push back on you, is because in my opinion, he'll be happy being the defensive stud. Similar, think about like a Kevin Garnett when he went to the Celtics. He was defensive oriented. He let Paul Pierce be the scorer, Ray out. He still contributed. My point is, if he becomes that, that is amazing, to be a defensive stud and then just play within the offense. And like Niall says, let him find his way. Let him find his way, and we'll see how he's used, etc.
No, I agree with that.
But the only point I will give you, TD, and Niles, I want to hear your take too. I do think he should develop his. I mean, obviously, what do I know? But if I was advising, I like it the inside out instead of from the perimeter in. Just when someone's that tall, that's where I would like the development to come from.
Yeah, the thing with me is the thing is he's so versatile. He can do he can do a lot of different things on the basketball court at that height. And I think that's where he's like, where the ghost of potential that we see. We can see it in a lot of different ways with him. We can see him excelling at a lot of different things. It's like, we just need to see which ones are utilized the most, and like how well he can fine tune those skills. But the reality is this is an incredibly versatile big, something we've never seen exactly at that height. And he's capable of doing a lot of different things.
Yep. All right, guys, good stuff. We'll see you next time on Brothers Talking Sports, Arguing Sports, baseball, basketball, and sports media. Bye, everybody. Bye, Niles. Bye, TD.
Take it easy, guys.
All right.